Hi, Ben here from Trident Fly Fishing. Today we're kicking off our 2018 fly rod review season with the all-new Sage Igniter. Now the Igniter is one of the most exciting releases of the year, and it replaces the Method as Sage's fastest rod. So when Sage releases a rod, they're usually fast. And when they say it's a really fast rod, they mean it. The Igniter is no exception to the rule. Let's start by talking about some of the features on this rod. Starting from the bottom of the rod, you'll notice that not a lot has changed from the Method or even the One. The Igniter is pure Sage in build construction, and we think that's a really good thing. Fighting butt on all the saltwater models, which goes into an anodized aluminum up-locking reel seat. And then you'll see this very good full Wells grip, again, only on saltwater models like this 9-foot 8 weight. And that rolls into a Chipotle red blank. So they took the bright red from the Method, toned it down a little bit, and this is more of a maroon, dark red kind of color. If you weren't a fan of something super bright that you could see, all the way across the river, this is going to be a lot more appealing to you. Moving on up, you'll see again, exactly the same things that we've come to expect from Sage. Fuji ceramic stripping guides, followed by hard chrome snake guides. Really, the story of the build hasn't changed a lot. So let's get out in the field and see how it casts. Starting out at 40 feet, the Igniter performed a lot like you'd expect, which is to say, didn't have a lot of feel. One of the things that we found is some of these really fast rods is that we're actually able to create a lot of accuracy by flexing it hard and just kind of giving it a flick off the tip. It's not the most fun way to cast, but if you're really trying to get it on a dime, you can still do that, but just don't expect a lot of feedback. Moving the rod back out to 60 feet, I felt like it kind of started to come alive. We were casting with SA Grand Slam, which is a lot like Bruce Chard Tropical Punch. Loaded a lot at the front, but still has a really nice long head. That line excels at about that 60-foot distance, and we were able to load the rod a lot better than at 40 feet. It also happens to be, the full length of that taper, and because it's the full length of the taper, we're able to kind of aerialize that whole thing and get a pretty decent amount of accuracy. This is kind of a distance where I would have loved to have a Method to compare it to, or any other rod. Unfortunately we didn't have one today, but the accuracy seemed solid, but because it's such a fast rod, maybe not the absolute best, at least not with a Grand Slam line. Finally, at 80 feet, you definitely start to feel the line load, but Grand Slam's not a great line for super long distance casts. So I almost want to reserve judgment about it, but this is a rod that's designed to cast long distances. Regardless of what distance I was casting, I really felt like my timing needed to be spot on, and if I was casting really, really well, the rod performed really, really well. But if I was off just a hair, just a tiny fraction off in my timing, I felt like my casts kind of fell apart. Really not a forgiving rod, but a rod that in certain conditions will get the job done. And maybe those conditions are times when the Igniter is the only rod that will get it done. So after casting the new Sage Igniter, it's pretty clear that it's not a rod that's gonna work well for everybody. In fact, I'd say it's a rod for a very limited set of conditions. And I think Peter Knox at Sage really explained that well at ICAST this year. He called the Igniter a rod for technical conditions. And so what's a technical condition? It's when you have to make a really long cast into the wind. When shooting line is an option, you need to aerialize a ton of line, and that's what the Igniter is designed to do. And I think they've succeeded in that goal. If you're a beginning caster, and maybe even a beginner/intermediate caster, the Igniter is not gonna be the rod for you. It's gonna really punish your mistakes and make it difficult to cast unless you really, really overload it. But for the intermediate to advanced caster who needs those very technical types of presentations, the Igniter is going to be a really interesting option for you. Compared to the Method, I really wish we would have had one today. The Igniter is about the same general weight specifications. When we post our written review on our blog, we'll have a little bit more detail about swing weight and maybe some comparisons in swing weight as well. It's definitely not the lightest rod in the Sage lineup, maybe by quite a way. But again, it's designed for very specific conditions, technical presentations. This is the all-new Sage Igniter. You can purchase the all-new Sage Igniter with free second-day air shipping for $900 from tridentflyfishing.com. If you have questions about this rod, shoot us an email at support@tridentflyfishing.com or give us a call at 888-413-5211. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you like this video. I'm Ben. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.